Breaking for Cleveland Browns fans. You won't believe this shakeup. What just unfolded in Berea is sending shockwaves through the Browns fan base, and trust me, this is not something you want to overlook. Before we break down the full story, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. We bring you the latest daily Browns coverage straight from the heart of the action. All right, Dog Pound, today we're diving into a storyline that's been igniting conversations across the NFL, and it might be one of the most pivotal quarterback dilemmas in recent Browns history. We're talking about Cleveland's chaotic QB situation, a complex puzzle that's turning heads across the league. As many of you know, the aftermath of the turbulent 2023 season, marred by Deshaun Watson's devastating double Achilles injuries, left the franchise in disarray at the most critical position. With Watson sidelined before the season could even take flight, the Browns were left scrambling, forced to reimagine their offense and look for answers under center. Now, the quarterback room in Cleveland is arguably the most unpredictable, congested, and competitive in the entire NFL. We're talking 4 quarterbacks, 2 grizzled veterans and 2 rising rookies, each fighting for what could be a franchise-defining role. Leading the veteran core is Joe Flacco, a name that carries both weight and nostalgia for Browns fans. At 40 years old, Flacco was re-signed this offseason to a 1-year, $4,250,000 0-cents deal, viewed by many as a classic veteran insurance policy. But now, that move is being questioned. Here's where things get really interesting. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, Flacco might actually be the odd man out come final roster cuts. That's right, the same Joe Flacco who posted a 4-1 record as a starter during last year's patchwork campaign could be the first casualty in the team's effort to trim down. Why? It's about long-term vision. Flacco, despite his veteran poise and leadership, doesn't offer the same future upside as the younger talents, especially considering his age and limited runway left at an elite level. Cleveland has made moves that clearly signal they're building for the future. Kenny Pickett, acquired via trade. Dillon Gabriel, drafted in the 3rd round. Shedeur Sanders, taken in the 5th. All 3 have the potential to shape the future of the Browns' quarterback lineage. And with the reality that the team won't carry 4 QBs into the regular season, the question becomes clear. Who stays and who walks? If Flacco falters in training camp or if the youth movement flashes promise, the Browns may cut ties with the veteran, a move that would free up nearly $3 million, 0 cents in cap space. Let's talk about Joe Flacco, the man, the warrior. Hailing from Audubon, New Jersey, Flacco stormed into NFL stardom with the Ravens capturing a Super Bowl title in 2013 and delivering one of the most iconic postseason runs in recent memory. Over time, he transformed into a seasoned journeyman, lending his experience to multiple squads as a steady hand and locker room leader. His stint with the Browns last season, crucial. Amid injuries to Jacoby Brissett and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Flacco stepped up in the clutch. He brought poise, command, and confidence when the Browns needed it most. And in doing so, he didn't just win games, he won hearts. Whether this is his final act in Cleveland or just the beginning of another chapter, the QB battle in Berea is far from over. And this offseason, it's about more than just who throws the prettiest spiral. It's about who will lead this franchise into the future. Cleveland Browns fans, the battle under center is heating up. What's unfolding in Berea is nothing short of a quarterback power struggle, and it could redefine the future of this franchise. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications because we're delivering daily updates, insider analysis, and every twist of the Browns' 2024 offseason story. Joe Flacco's return wasn't just about nostalgia, it was about respect. His ability to rise when called upon earned him admiration from teammates and fans alike. That's why Cleveland brought him back to serve as a steady backup and mentor for the next generation of Browns quarterbacks. But in today's NFL, sentiment doesn't secure roster spots. Performance does. This preseason, Flacco finds himself in the middle of an intense, high-stakes quarterback competition. His veteran presence, while invaluable, doesn't guarantee security, especially with the Browns investing heavily in young, high-upside talent like Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. Let's break them down. Dillon Gabriel, a third-round selection out of Oklahoma. Gabriel brings a lightning-fast release, pinpoint accuracy, and notable mobility. He's not just a project, he's a future starter in the making. The question is, can he rise to the moment now? Shedeur Sanders, the surprise fifth-round pick and son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, turned heads at Colorado. His college tape flashes strong-arm talent, improvisational creativity, and a fearless ability to extend plays. He's raw, yes, but the ceiling is sky-high. Kenny Pickett, acquired prior to the draft, the former Steelers first-rounder, brings NFL-level reads, a solid arm, and a mental sharpness that suggests he's still a potential long-term answer under center. He's shown glimpses. Now, the pressure is on to put it all together. This is not just a QB room, it's a proving ground. Only one or two will emerge from the fire, ready to lead the Browns into 2024 and beyond. And that brings us back to Joe Flacco. If Flacco can command the field in training camp, showcase leadership, and outperform expectations, he could retain his spot. But if he falters, if the coaching staff believes the youth movement is ready, the Browns may choose to part ways, saving nearly $3 million, 0 cents in cap space in the process. It's a classic NFL drama, the veteran clinging to relevance versus hungry prospects desperate to claim the throne. But this quarterback saga is just one piece of a larger vision. Cleveland isn't just building a team, they're constructing a contender with defensive juggernauts like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, and one of the NFL's most dominant offensive lines. The missing piece has always been quarterback consistency. The stakes couldn't be higher. Cleveland fans have endured decades of heartbreak, missed opportunities, and quarterback chaos. Now, with Deshaun Watson's health still uncertain, the spotlight is scorching. Every throw in preseason, every decision in camp, every rep in practice matters. The outcome of this quarterback competition will shape the destiny of this team. Whether it's Flacco defying the odds or one of the rookies seizing control of the narrative, the decisions made this offseason will echo for years to come. And make no mistake, the expectations are sky high. Browns Nation is hungry, not just for wins, but for a return to relevance, a postseason breakthrough, and the dream of that elusive Super Bowl run. So keep your eyes on Burritos, because this isn't just a battle for a depth chart position. It's a fight for the future of the franchise. Will Flacco rise again? Is Gabriel or Sanders the surprise breakout? Can Pickett finally claim the mantle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take on this unfolding saga. Stay locked in, Browns fans. The story's just getting started, and the best is yet to come. Let's go, Browns. This wasn't supposed to happen. Heading into the 2025 offseason, Deshaun Watson was expected to be little more than a footnote, a sidelined, fading figure in Cleveland's ever-changing quarterback saga, ruled out following a second Achilles surgery, effectively written off by the front office, and left out of the team's long-term blueprint. But then, something unexpected began to simmer beneath the surface. A video surfaced Watson, not in a walking boot, not sitting on the sidelines, was out there slinging passes to Jerry Jeudy and David Bell, not rehabbing, not limited, throwing, moving, competing. And suddenly, a question no one saw coming emerged with force. What if Deshaun Watson isn't finished in Cleveland? Before we dive deep, smash that like if you've been riding with the Browns for 20-plus years, and type "Let's go Browns" if you believe this is finally our Super Bowl run. Let's rewind. January 10th, Watson undergoes his second Achilles surgery. The mood? Grim. General manager Andrew Berry calls it a setback. The media, the fans, even the organization brace for what seems like the inevitable. Watson will miss the entire 2025 season. An Achilles tear is no joke. Recovery takes 10-12 months minimum. And even then, it's about more than returning. It's about proving he still belongs. Owner Jimmy Haslam, he all but waved the white flag, stating publicly that Watson can't recover. It sounded like the final nail in the coffin. But then, Watson posts a cryptic video, just 3 words, me versus me. A response to Haslam? A message to the fans? A quiet declaration of war against doubt? One thing was certain, he wasn't done fighting. Then came April, Barry's pre-draft press conference. His tone subtly shifts. Too early to say, he claims, but praises Watson's daily discipline and dedication. It wasn't a forecast, but it also wasn't surrender. And then, in May, head coach Kevin Stefanski, while discussing the QB room, name drops Watson unprompted. If Watson was truly out of the picture, why even mention him? Then the visuals hit Watson. On the field, throwing, moving. It's not preseason. It's not even training camp. It's May, and 4 is active. That's not definitive proof of a week 1 return, but it sure as hell makes things complicated, murky, and dangerously intriguing. Now, here's where it gets wild. If Watson is cleared to return early, say by week 3, the Browns are thrust into a no-win dilemma. Do they put him on the field, or do they keep him sidelined and trigger a massive insurance payout? Here's the kicker. The Browns could recoup up to $44 million, 0 cents in salary cap relief for 2026 if Watson misses the entire 2025 season. That's not pocket change. That's franchise-altering money in a league where cap flexibility wins championships. But if Watson is medically cleared and not activated, the payout could be voided. Insurance companies don't play games. If he's healthy and benched, it could lead to lawsuits, investigations, and major headlines. Even without the financial chaos, the football side is no less dramatic. The Browns have Kenny Pickett, a former first-rounder still searching for consistency. Dillon Gabriel, a mobile high IQ rookie from Oklahoma with starter potential. Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round wildcard with swagger, improvisation, and undeniable arm talent. These guys need reps. They need development. They could represent the future. So why hand the reins back to a quarterback whose past is filled with controversy, question marks, and injury? And yet, what if Watson is the best player in that room? This leads us to the real question of 2025, the one no one dared to ask just a few months ago. What if Deshaun Watson isn't finished? Browns fans, I want to hear your voice. If Watson is cleared early, do you play him? Do you bench him? Do you cut ties completely? Let me know in the comments, because this decision might be the most pivotal moment of the Browns' entire 2025 season. This isn't just about who starts at quarterback. It's about identity. It's about what kind of team this front office wants to build. If Watson is healthy and left on the sideline for insurance reasons, what message does that send to the locker room, to the fans, to the league? It says that money greater than winning. And in Cleveland, that's a dangerous game to play. Every incompletion, every 3 and out, every mistake by the younger quarterbacks becomes ammunition for critics demanding, why isn't Deshaun Watson on the field? And that's not just noise. It's a pressure cooker that impacts game planning, morale, and locker room unity, because once that conversation starts, it doesn't stop. Not until it's addressed with clarity and conviction. And here's the truth. This is more than a QB dilemma. This is a franchise-defining moment. If Cleveland plays Watson, they risk delaying the development of 2 potential long-term quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, who were brought in with intention. Their growth, their reps, their opportunity to lead in 2025 all get pushed aside. You're not just picking a starter, you're picking a timeline, a future, a philosophy. But if you sit Watson, and not because he's injured, but because you're chasing a $44 million 0 cents cap boost, you're sending a different kind of message, one that says business over ball, finance over performance, PR, optics over competitive integrity. And in a city like Cleveland, a blue-collar football town that's endured decades of heartbreak, instability, and quarterback roulette, that precedent is dangerous. Let's go even deeper. Watson isn't just any player. He's the highest paid player in franchise history. If he's in meetings, on the practice field, making throws, leading huddles, how do you look Myles Garrett, Joel Bitonio, or Nick Chubb in the eye and say, we're benching him not because of performance, but because of accounting? That fractures trust. That undermines everything this front office claims to value: competition, accountability, transparency. Because the minute the locker room senses that decisions are being made based on politics and profit, not merit and performance, you lose something vital: credibility. And even if Watson returns to the field, it doesn't mean he'll return as a top-tier quarterback. That part remains unknown. But what's certain is this: the Browns cannot afford to duck the decision. They can't bury the narrative, sidestep the press conference, or pretend the outside world isn't watching. They can't let Watson stand on the sidelines in a hoodie while Kenny Pickett throws picks and pretend that the conversation isn't brewing. There's also the human element to consider. Whatever your opinion of Watson's past, the controversy, the contract, the polarizing trade, here stands a player who's apparently working relentlessly to return from a devastating injury. He's showing up, he's grinding, he's doing everything a team could ask of a recovering player. So if that same man is told, we'd rather take the payout than put you in pads, the fallout could be nuclear. Legal disputes, media firestorms, locker room rifts, player morale collapse. So here we are, 4 months from week 3, a quarterback recovering faster than anyone predicted, a front office at a philosophical crossroads, a contract that handcuffs, but a payout that could unlock the future, and a franchise forced to decide what it really stands for. This is no longer just about football. It's about identity, ethics, leadership, integrity, direction. It's about what kind of team the Cleveland Browns are becoming, and whether they'll build that future on principle or on PR maneuvering. Browns fans, I want to hear from you. If Watson is cleared early, should the Browns play him or sit him to trigger the cap relief? Does long-term flexibility justify short-term sacrifice? Or should the best player always play, no matter the contract complications? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, because this isn't just a debate over a depth chart. This is about trust, legacy, and the future of the dog pound. And if you're loving this kind of unfiltered, deep-cut Browns coverage, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're not done. Not by a long shot. We're covering every twist, every controversy, every chess move this franchise makes together. See you in the next one, Dog Pound. Because this season, everything is on the line.